Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning back into I Shot Logic. Well, we haven't had anything positive to talk about, really, over the last month and a half. But I'm starting to feel inspired a little bit because I'm seeing something that I didn't think I would see, at least not yet. And that is the pushback from the Republican constituents to their local congressmen and local government leaders. Not only are these folks taking responsibility for the bad decision that they now know they made, they're actually being accountable and not putting the blame on black folks for a change. So let's take a look at what's been going on.
Does anybody know what fucking happened to Kamala Harris? It's like she vanished off the face of the earth. It's like, what happened? Like she abandoned the Democratic Party. If she's gonna be the fucking nominee in 2028, come out of the fucking closet.
This video is for the white women crashing out because Kamala Harris posted a picture of she and Doug on Valentine's Day, and oh, you were outraged. We don't have time for Valentine's. We have to fight fascism. Where are you? Why aren't you standing up? Why aren't you leading the charge? Why? We demand that you show up. She did. You didn't. The data doesn't lie. She showed up. She fought. She sacrificed, but you did not. And I have news for y'all. The day of you benefiting off of black women's labor is over. The 92%, they are resting, as they should. They have done the work of civil rights and equal rights for the entirety of this country's history. And you have stood back in your privilege and benefited when you could have used your privilege to push ahead civil rights and equal rights. But instead, you let them be beat, you let them be killed, and you just siphoned out the benefits from their labor. That day is over. So let me say to all the Nancy Grahams and every Patty Mayonnaise who's crashing out over Kamala Harris having her due rest, her due joy, her due good food eaten because she lost so much weight because she was giving everything during that election, getting her due love from Doug, being with her family, having her due rest, as is the rest of the 92%. Let me say this to you all, Patty Mayonnaise. Let me say this to you, Nancy Graham. Let me say this. If you want a new bonnet in this season, you're gonna have to go pick the cotton yourself in the field. Let me just snatch that whip out of your metaphoric hand. Black people are not your property. Black women do not owe you their labor. It is your turn, far past your turn, to get out there and do the work yourself. And not just for you, also for them. It's our turn to create a safe place. It's our turn to put our bodies in the line. It's our turn to go to the streets. It's our turn to mobilize. It's our turn to organize. It's our turn. And don't let me catch you posting that crap, calling out Kamala. You keep her name out of your mouth. I'm sick of y'all.
On behalf of the black community and black women in general, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad somebody said it, and yeah, everything you said, I don't even have anything to add. I'm just thanking you. But all of you people who voted away our human rights, you don't get to whine to us for help, and you don't get to be mad at the woman who you were making horrible racist characters of. That display of Kamala being walked by those people, you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, you don't get to beg for her help now. You do the rest. And to this creator, thank you so much. And you got that follow. And you got that invite to the cookout for life.
Why are we on here asking what happened to the former vice president? Why are we doing that? She's a private citizen. She doesn't owe the United States anything. She doesn't owe white people anything. She didn't abandon the Democratic Party. Who said that? Who said she did? She tried to stop this. In case you didn't look at the exit polls, the final numbers, white people overwhelmingly voted for the white supremacist in chief. You're asking a black woman, a black person, once again, to clean up the mess that we made. This is our baby to clean up, not black people's, especially a black woman. She's a private citizen. Leave her alone.
Here are some clips from the town hall meetings in Georgia, Oregon, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin.
We're not in a cult. Not as a party.
Elon was going to be the main topic tonight, and he's going to continue to be the main topic tonight because we are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
Will be lost forever and tyranny will rise. I believe you know the rest of his speech. Something about give me liberty to... It's clear from all the writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king. So you can imagine my shock and pure horror when I woke up to find that our president had given himself unprecedented executive powers and then within a few days named himself king to his followers. So I would like to know, rather the people would like to know, what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. We're supposed to have great balance in power. You can disagree with me all you want, but I'm just telling you the way it is. And I get that you don't agree with me and you think I'm not telling the truth. Unless they're lying to me, and you can say they are, so who? Okay.
What is the expected outcome of Canadian tariffs?
Most of the tariffs were immediately lifted because they conceded.
It is a voter suppression law that you signed on as a sponsor of, and I want to know why you're scared for me to vote.
You are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us. And
so you voted not to certify Pennsylvania's congressional. You were part of the movement to overturn the 2020 election. Anyway, why are we listening to a congressperson who is complicit in the advocation for the abandonment of the checks and balances system in the first place?
Do your job. You're a traitor to the Constitution.
I'll just tell you that it wasn't to overturn the election. It was to call into question the incredibly poor management of Pennsylvania's electoral process.
I'm a registered Republican voter and retired active Army officer. How can you tell me that Doge, with some college whiz kid from a computer terminal in Washington, D.C., without even getting out into the field, after about a week or maybe two, has determined that it's okay to cut veteran benefits?
I think a couple things. Let me give you an example. Did you know that the VA was in charge of payment for illegals for housing? Basically, the VA.
No, I'd like for you to send me. Could you send me that reference so I could research that? Because no, I'm not aware of that. And I would tell you that that's a red herring, a false flag. If you're throwing that kind of political stuff up, trying to cut veterans' benefits, that's very alarming to me.
First District Congressman Kevin Hearn spoke first about the border, the deficit, and China. His constituents only had questions about government cuts.
We're seeing the administration undermining Congress.
Will you call Elon Musk in to testify under oath?
My concern right now, and I think I speak for a lot of Americans, is Elon Musk. Huge conflicts of interest.
And nobody's stopping him.
And Hearn stuck to his long-held position that government spending is out of control and Congress has not been capable of stopping it.
And it's going to impact all of us in this room, regardless of party or whether you like me or not.
Hearn said he had no reports of services impacted by federal cuts and criticized federal employees who worked from home home. He deferred oversight of the president and Musk to the judicial branch, and when pressed, would not commit to having hearings to ask his own questions. He said he would relay concerns to the White House and admitted even he doesn't know who or how many federal employees have lost jobs in Oklahoma.
President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. I think by and large this is moving very quickly compared to other administrations, and I think across the board he's done some very good things. I think he's gotten rid of birthright citizenship.
Illegal as hell.
When will you stand up to them and say that is enough?
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already.
There's no law and there is no order and there are no consequences. Nobody is held to account.
We cannot just sit back and wait. Right. Things are happening at warp speed, illegal things that are having consequences right now. And we need you. Yeah.
Elon Musk is ignoring a bunch of financial stuff. He is in the Treasury. He is trying to get access to our tax returns. Are you going to subpoena him at some point? Or after you're done with the budget or whatever, are you willing to use your subpoena power to say, Musk, come in here, stand in front of Congress and answer some hard questions? That is how you can hold him to account.
Certainly the discussion in and around Doge and with the probationary moves that have already been done, they're going to have to be scrutinized at some point by the Ways and Means Committee, where the expenditures would be made, and by the other standing committees. We're not in that position right now.
We're looking at Doge and they bragging about all the fraud they're finding and all this stuff. And they're saying that because of all this fraud that they're finding, they have to make all these budget cuts. And it got me to thinking about something. Just a couple of months before the election, Vivek Ramaswamy was asked about reparations. His answer to reparations was he felt like it would cause more divide. And he was also saying that he felt, in a nutshell, today's America shouldn't have to pay for the mistakes of yesterday's America. If there has been fraud that you all claim has been going on for decades or whatever, right? You claim that all this money has been siphoned from the government. Most of the people living now can't be held responsible for what fraudulent spending was done back then. So you're asking today's America to pay for all the fraud that you claim has happened with their current benefits and with their current lifelines and with their current needs, when we already know that you got a $4.5 trillion tax cut sitting right there waiting to happen for these billionaires, and that's where you're getting the money from. I just felt the need to point out the hypocrisy in that. As a whole, he's got everything stirred up, and his own people are suffering because of his moves. His own constituents, his own voters, and they're pushing back. Now, I haven't seen that in my lifetime on the Democrat side or the Republican side, not to this level. I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm happy to see that there are people uniting to fight one cause, but it's still going to be separate. It's still going to be two separate movements to achieve the same goal. The white folks that are mad at Trump are not going to sit side by side with the black folks that are mad at Trump. And it's sad because we still have not learned how to unite. So I wish I hadn't talked them up. A couple of videos ago, I was asking where was Black Maga. Here they are.
This image behind me is not an image of one of Kamala's "You Better Thank a Union Member" rallies. No, it is not. Instead, this is pretty much everything that we have been told by the far left media does not exist, right? We were told that DJT, aka Donald Django Trump, was a racist. As a matter of fact, the man is an image of white supremacy. That's what he not only represents, he stands for, but he also pushes as legislation. Well, it just so happens that in the midst of Black History Month, all these folks showed up. Imagine that.
And of course, you know how they acted.
Hey, Skylar.
Hey,
Where we heading?
we are heading to the White House.
Oh, yeah, who we about to see?
President Trump.
Are you kidding me? And I got my hat here. Hopefully I'll get a signature from the boss himself. And then do we have a private tour after the event?
Yeah, I think we do.
Ooh, it's going down. It's going down today. Thankful. God is good.
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
Every day.
They're not like us, baby. Look at legacy media.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Look at legacy media.
Senator, yeah.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Let me fix my bow tie. We at the White House? We at the White House? We back in here. We waiting on President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. I look so good in the red.
Toby be good nigga for massa. Don't send Toby away. Toby be good field hand, boss. Good field hand, massa.
That's all right, Toby. That's all right. You be a good field hand and you can stay here.
Toby, stay.
I'm leaving the White House, and President Trump just hosted the White House's annual Black History Month reception. While his executive order ending DEI programs have disrupted Black history events around the country. Trump was joined by golf champion Tiger Woods, Kash Patel, who was just confirmed to lead the FBI, and Senator Tim Scott.
Black Maga, y'all still some ignorant niggas. Y'all still ignorant as hell. Smiling and grinning and kissing and hugging. And hell, he won't even take that from you. That man don't care nothing about you, your people, your struggle. He just made it worse with the stroke of a pen. What's wrong with y'all? Oh, so y'all didn't see none of that? It don't affect you because you're not in a position where you need government assistance. It doesn't affect you because you don't have to worry about your job. So all Donald Trump got to do is stroke y'all a check to see the same niggas every time. Or hell, he may not even stroke your check. He may not even had to be honest with you, because y'all so damn gullible. Some of y'all probably laid on rent paying for that trip. Put on an absolute clown show for this dude.
Also announced plans to include statues of Black icons to the National Garden of American Heroes.
The garden will predominantly feature incredible women like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, and Coretta Scott King. We're going to produce some of the most beautiful works of art in the form of a statue for men like Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson, what a great athlete that was, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, and the late Kobe Bryant. People love Kobe Bryant.
You got this guy here looking like Harpo from Color Purple, lying up all fucked up, talking about this is the best president of our lifetime. Man, have you lost your fucking mind?
He is the greatest president in our lifetime. And I'll tell you right now, the Democratic Party should be a worry because they took us for granted. No longer. We vote in our best interest. We want the same thing that every American wants. Good job. We want a secure border. We want to pay lower taxes, and Mr. President Donald Trump is doing that. Thank you, Mr. President.
And here this Negro up here with his haircut from the Roots movie, up here talking about he's the best president we've ever had. He's the best president in our lifetime. Man, you fucking crazy.
He is unpopular. He is historically unpopular. He is the least popular president in the history of modern polling at this point in his presidency. Gallup did polling just after the inauguration. They did their first poll on public opinion of Trump in this second term, starting immediately after the inauguration. That's when you are at your high watermark in terms of what people are expecting from you and hoping for from you. But in that first Gallup poll of this presidential term, sort of shockingly, Trump was already underwater. In his first week in office, more Americans disapproved of him than approved of him. That's unheard of. That's a more than unusual thing in presidential polling. Gallup, in fact, said at the time that in the 70-plus years they have been doing presidential polling, Donald Trump is the only president for whom his approval ratings were underwater right at the start of his term in office, meaning more people disliked him than liked him. It was shocking enough that I didn't think it would stand. I thought that would be sort of an outlier. But now look at this. Gallup just did its follow-up poll, now 1 month into Trump being back in office, and his numbers have gotten worse. He's not -1 anymore, now he's -6, which makes him, at this point in his term, not only the most disliked and unpopular president in 70-plus years of Gallup polling, Gallup says it actually puts him 15 points below the average polling for presidents. Again, over the last 72 years in which they have been doing this polling.
He is the most unpopular president ever. While he's making laws to knock his people down, standing up here saying he's the best president of our lifetime. All y'all did in that moment was confirm everything that he's doing to put black people at a disadvantage and accepting the placation that he's throwing on you.
I know God has chose you. He anointed you for this position. He kept you alive so you could be here today. And we pray for that. We pray for you. We continue to pray for you. And we're thankful for your service and your sacrifice. Mr. President Donald J. Trump, honor. God bless you.
Is this heaven? Oh, not just heaven, Ruckus. White heaven. Love the white man? You too can join us in white heaven.
Praise white God.
It's supposed to be all in God's hands. You see how they're mentioning God and all this? I knew some preacher somewhere gonna be standing up saying, this is all in God's plan. It was God's plan for him to be born, to be here for this time, to be the Prince of Peace for Israel. It was in God's plan all along. Any of y'all that are buying into that, you are lost. And I feel bad for you. I hope y'all have some time to do some prayer and reflect and see the light one day. I hope you don't go to your grave being a worshiper of one man and worshiping things that are of the world, the things that people like Trump and his oligarchs indulge in. I sincerely hope that that's not what's left of your soul whenever you leave this world. I surely hope not. All y'all was there for was wax his Jimmy. He jizzed everywhere on you motherfuckers. I don't think the black Republicans, the real black Republicans, even associate themselves as y'all's punk asses. Because there's a difference between black MAGA and black Republicans. Black Republicans at least still have some sense of decency when it comes to certain shit. And because they know that what Trump is doing is indecent, not just to black folks, but to everybody, that's why you didn't see other key Republicans there. I didn't look at the list, but I looked at the crowd, and all I seen was
Yes! 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 I'm wall-to-wall cones. This is crazy. You know, there's got to be 30 cones at least. I don't know where they all come from. Oh my God. Yeah, they all love me.
the difference between black Republicans and black MAGA, to me, is a pretty wide gap. Because the way I see it, the reason why Trump was able to capture this whole black MAGA thing and this black MAGA movement is for the same reason that he was able to capture all the people in the original MAGA movement. Here's the way the food chain goes. You have MAGA that looks down on immigrants, on blacks, and on LGBTQ. Then you have Latin MAGA that looks down on blacks and LGBTQ. And then you have black MAGA that looks down on LGBTQ. That's basically what it is. There's your staircase. Go back and look at all the right-wing conservative black creators. You've got the twins. Some of y'all know about them. Officer Tatum. Some of y'all know about him. If you go and look at their content, 1 out of every 3 pieces of content that's published has something to do with what they call woke culture. And it's a stab at LGBTQ every time. That's how Black Maga became what it is, because they had somebody to look down on. Black folks, for the first time in history, felt like that they had somebody that they could look down on. And black folks that carried that type of mentality and carried that type of personality through life, looking down at their own people, it worked out great for them. Trump was right up their alley. He was just what the doctor ordered for those people. I ain't got no love for you at all, because I feel just as betrayed by you as Trump voters feel betrayed by him in this moment. All this shit that's going on right now, right in front of our faces, for you to sit there and ignore all the shit that he's done, all the executive orders he signed, and go to Washington and go celebrate Black History Month under a president that's doing all this deconstruction, doing nothing but trying to obliterate our existence. For him to stand up there and tell you that he's going to put a few statues in the fucking garden.
Wake up!
You know, they're bringing me to Washington. Come along with me, man. We'll go to Washington. We'll have a budget, huh? We'll have some clout.
I can get more clout and more money on the street than I can get following your ass to Washington.
So the whole game had been a joke. A joke on me. I was a fool. I'd been turned out like a $2 hoe. Used. Abused. But with no towel. And no kiss.
Black Maga, you'd probably be offended if a black person told you, why don't you just go on ahead and just join the white supremacists? Why not? You for it? You riding the train that pushes the shit. Why not just put on a hood and join it? Why not just put on a shiesty like the guys in Ohio did, waving their Nazi flags above the overpass? Why don't you just go join them? Why not? Oh, I'm not doing that. I don't believe in that. I'm black. Well, if you black, act like it. Instead of clout chasing and holding your fucking phone up and taking pictures and all this shit and bragging about how you in the White House, praising him. If you're going to do all that, go ahead and join them. I think it's straight comedy for real. I do. I think it's straight comedy, man. Y'all making an absolute fool of yourself. When the time comes, you're going to be the one that had to answer to being on the wrong side of history. And people can look at me and say, oh, well, you don't sound like you about unity. If you're going to hold it against Black Maga, they should know better. All this stuff is being put right in front of our face. It's public information. Yet you want to go up here and go to Washington to Black History Month under this president and pretend none of it's happening. I ain't got nothing for you. That's the type of shit I'm on. That's it. We always knew it wasn't about color only. Hell, we're all victims. Maybe that's one good thing that MAGA has done. It's made us realize that it ain't about color no more. Even if it is separate, at least everybody's going after the same target, the same goal. And that's to restore our democracy. And I hope to see more of it in the future. And something tells me we will. Thanks again, y'all. I'm enjoying the ride. Hope y'all are enjoying it with me. I'll catch you on the next one.